A baby elephant trapped in a python's grip. Can a swarm of bees save it? In the blistering heart of the African savanna, where the sun scorched the earth into cracked mosaics, a tiny elephant calf named Ellie wandered alone. She'd lost her herd during a sudden downpour that turned trails to mud. Ellie, with her barely sprouted tusks and dust-caked skin, searched for her mother. Her steps were shaky, her trunk trembling with fear. Then, from a thicket of acacia bushes, a shadow slithered, long, slick, with glistening scales. A python, a 5-meter-long predator, struck like lightning. Its coils wrapped around Ellie's small body in an instant. Ellie let out a piercing, desperate trumpet, a cry that shattered the savanna's silence. Her trunk thrashed, trying to break free, but the python tightened its grip. Ellie's bones creaked under the pressure, her breaths coming in shallow gasps. Fear surged through her veins, her heart pounding like a drum. She saw the snake's eyes glint with cold hunger, its jaws parting, ready to engulf her. "Mama!" she thought, but the herd was far beyond the horizon. The python squeezed slowly, savoring its victory. Its muscles flexed, scales scraping against Ellie's skin, leaving raw scratches. She fought, stomping the earth, kicking up clouds of dust. The snake's musky, venomous scent filled her nostrils. Her strength was fading, her vision dimming. High in the nearby baobab trees, a swarm of bees buzzed, thousands of wings vibrating in the air. They were gathering nectar, oblivious to the drama below. But one frantic swing of Ellie's trunk clipped a branch, sending dust spiraling upward. The tension built with every second. The python hissed, its tongue flickering, tasting the air. Ellie writhed, but the coils were like a vice. She remembered the warmth of her herd, playing with other calves, carefree days by the river. Now it was slipping away. Her cries grew weaker, echoing into the void. The swarm of bees, sensing the disturbance, began circling closer, golden specks in the sunlight. Would they hear her plea? Would they act in time? Ellie shut her eyes, feeling the cold of the snake's scales. The python prepared for its final squeeze, and then a hum, loud, rising, like an approaching storm. The bees had noticed the predator, but would their fury be enough to save the calf? The coils tightened further. The swarm strikes, but will it be enough to free the elephant? The hum grew louder, a furious roar vibrating through the savanna's heavy air. The bees, 1,000 strong, descended like a living storm, their wings slicing the sunlight into flickering shards. Ellie, trapped in the python's suffocating coils, felt a faint spark of hope as the buzzing drowned out her own ragged breaths. The python's scales glinted, slick with menace, as it sensed the shift. Its tongue flicked faster, tasting the air, now thick with the sharp, sweet scent of enraged bees. Ellie's heart thudded, her small body trembling against the snake's relentless grip. Each coil seemed to tighten with her every gasp, her ribs aching, her vision blurring to a haze of green and gold. The bees attacked. A wave of stingers plunged into the python's flesh, each strike a pinpoint of fire. The snake hissed, a low, guttural sound that vibrated through Ellie's bones. It thrashed, its massive body twisting, loosening for a fleeting moment, enough for Ellie to suck in a desperate gulp of air. She trumpeted weakly, her trunk flailing, stirring more dust that swirled into the bees' chaotic dance. The swarm was relentless, diving in synchronized fury, their buzz a deafening war cry. But the python was no ordinary foe. Its thick scales deflected many stings, and its cold eyes burned with defiance. It coiled tighter, refusing to release its prize. Ellie's mind raced with flashes of her mother's protective trunk, the herd's thundering steps. She kicked, her small hooves scraping the earth, but the python's strength was overwhelming. The air was now a mix of smells, sweat, dust, and the acrid tang of venom from the bees' stingers. The swarm's attack grew fiercer, targeting the snake's head, aiming for its eyes. One bee landed a sting on the python's eyelid, forcing it to flinch, its coils slackening again. Ellie seized the chance, thrashing with all her might, but the snake recovered fast, its muscles rippling as it squeezed harder. A sharp crack echoed. Ellie's rib strained to its limit. She let out a pained whimper, her strength fading. Suddenly, a new sound cut through the chaos, a deep, rumbling growl. From the edge of the clearing, a shadow moved. A young lioness, lean and scarred, emerged from the tall grass, her amber eyes locked on the scene. Her tail flicked, muscles tensing as she crouched low. The bees, caught in their frenzy, didn't notice her, but the python did. Its head snapped toward the lioness, coils shifting as it weighed its options. Ellie's heart sank. A new predator? Her small body shivered, caught between the snake's grip and the lioness's stare. Was this salvation or a deadlier threat? The lioness took a step forward, her claws scraping the dry earth. The bees, sensing a new disturbance, split their focus. Some dove toward the lioness, their stings pricking her hide. She roared, shaking her mane, but didn't retreat. Her eyes flicked to Ellie, then back to the python. The snake hissed louder, its body tensing, caught between holding its prey and facing two threats. Ellie's breath hitched, her trunk limp, her hope flickering like a dying ember. The lioness circled closer, her growl a low vibration in the air. The bees swarmed chaotically now, some stinging the python, others buzzing around the lioness, creating a whirlwind of noise and motion. The tension was unbearable. Ellie's vision darkened, her body slumping under the python's weight. The bees' stings were slowing the snake, but not enough. The lioness prowled closer, her intentions unclear. Friend or foe? The python's coils tightened again, as if daring both enemies to act. Ellie's faint trumpet was barely audible, a plea lost in the cacophony. Then the lioness stopped, her ears twitching. A distant rumble echoed. Hooves, heavy and fast. The herd. Ellie's heart leapt, but the python's grip tightened and the lioness's eyes narrowed. Something was about to break, but what? And then a new twist. The lioness lunged, not at Ellie, but at the python's tail, her claws slashing through scales. The lioness's claws and the swarm's fury. Will Ellie survive? The lioness's claws tore into the python's tail. Scales ripped, blood glistened. The snake hissed, a venomous shriek, its coils loosening for a split second. Ellie gasped, air flooding her lungs. Her small body trembled, ribs screaming in pain. The bees swarmed, a golden storm, their stingers plunging into the python's flesh. The air buzzed with chaos, wings, hisses, roars. Dust choked the clearing, the acrid scent of venom mixing with the iron tang of blood. Ellie's heart pounded. She kicked weakly, hooves scraping earth. Freedom was close. But the python wasn't done. The snake whipped its head toward the lioness. Its jaws snapped, fangs grazing her flank. She roared, leaping back, fur bristling. The bees seized the moment, diving at the python's eyes. One sting hit true, its left eye swelled shut. The snake thrashed, coils unraveling further. Ellie stumbled, her legs wobbling, but the python's tail snapped back, wrapping her hind leg. She trumpeted a desperate cry. The lioness circled, eyes blazing, claws flexing. Was she ally or enemy? Ellie's vision blurred, panic clawing her chest. The distant rumble grew louder. Hooves, heavy, close. The herd was coming. Ellie's ears twitched, catching the faint trumpet of her mother. Hope flickered, but the python tightened its grip, dragging her backward. The lioness lunged again, teeth sinking into the snake's midsection. Scales crunched. The python writhed, its coils flailing, knocking Ellie to the ground. She rolled, dust coating her skin, her trunk flopping limply. The bees redoubled their attack, a relentless cloud, their buzz a deafening war drum. The snake's hisses turned frantic, its body twisting in pain. The lioness tore at the python, claws shredding, blood sprayed, splattering Ellie's hide. The snake's grip weakened, but it lashed out, its tail striking the lioness's shoulder. She staggered, growling, blood dripping from her fur. The bees swarmed the wound, stinging the python's exposed flesh. Ellie struggled, her small body heaving, her breaths shallow. She saw the lioness's eyes, fierce, unyielding, not hunger, something else, protection. The thought stunned her. A predator saving prey? The herd's thunder shook the ground. Trumpets blared, urgent, angry. Ellie's mother was near. The python sensed it too. Its coils tightened one last time, a final act of defiance. Ellie's rib cracked again, pain shooting through her. She screamed, a sound that pierced the chaos. The lioness roared, leaping onto the snake's back. Her jaws clamped its neck. The bees dove, a furious cloud targeting the python's remaining eye. The snake thrashed, blind, desperate. Ellie's vision darkened, her body slumping. The herd burst into the clearing. Dust exploded. Ellie's mother charged, tusks gleaming, eyes wild with fear. The python froze, its coils trembling. The lioness held firm, teeth buried in the snake's neck. The bees buzzed, relentless, their stingers a storm of vengeance. Ellie's mother trumpeted, a sound that shook the air. The python's grip faltered. Ellie rolled free, gasping, her small body battered. But the snake wasn't finished. Its head reared, jaws wide, aiming for the lioness's throat. The bees swarmed, the herd charged, and Ellie lay helpless. Who would strike first? A bond forged in battle. The unlikely heroes. Save Ellie, the python's jaws snapped, aiming for the lioness's throat. Its fangs gleamed, venomous intent in its blinded eyes. But Ellie's mother charged, tusks lowered, a thunderous force of maternal rage. Her massive feet shook the earth. The bees, a relentless golden cloud, dove at the snake's gaping mouth, stingers piercing soft flesh. The python shrieked, its body convulsing. The lioness held firm, her teeth locked on the snake's neck, blood dripping onto the dust. Ellie, crumpled on the ground, gasped for air, her small body shaking. The air reeked of blood, venom, and sweat. The savannah held its breath. Ellie's mother slammed into the python, her tusks goring its side. Scales tore like paper. The snake's coils unraveled, releasing Ellie's leg. She stumbled, her trunk flailing, and rolled to safety behind her mother's legs. The lioness leapt back, dodging the python's final desperate lunge. The bees swarmed, a furious storm stinging the snake's wounds. It thrashed, tail whipping, but the fight was leaving it. Blood pooled beneath its writhing body. With a final shudder, The python collapsed, its hisses fading to silence. The bees slowed, their buzz softening, circling high above. Ellie's mother trumpeted, a sound of triumph and relief. She wrapped her trunk around Ellie, pulling her close. Ellie's small frame trembled, her breaths shallow but steady. Her ribs ached, her skin raw, but she was alive. The herd surrounded them, trunks touching Ellie gently, their low rumbles a chorus of reassurance. The lioness stood apart, panting, her shoulder bleeding, her amber eyes watching. The bees, their fury spent, began drifting back to their baobab tree, their hum now a quiet hymn. Ellie's mother turned to the lioness. Their eyes met, elephant and predator, a moment heavy with unspoken understanding. The lioness had fought not for hunger, but for something deeper. Ellie, nestled against her mother's side, looked at the lioness. Her small trunk lifted, a tentative gesture. The lioness blinked, her tail flicking, then took a step closer. The herd tensed, trunks raised, but Ellie's mother stood calm. The lioness lowered her head, a soft growl escaping, not a threat, but a vow. She turned, limping into the tall grass, her scarred form vanishing into the savannah's embrace. The bees, now a gentle hum in the distance, seemed to linger, as if watching over the scene. Ellie's mother nudged her calf, urging her to stand. Ellie wobbled, but rose, her legs shaky but determined. The herd moved as one, guiding her toward the river, where cool water would soothe her wounds. As they walked, Ellie glanced back at the baobab tree, where the bees had returned, their golden forms glinting in the sun. A spark of gratitude flickered in her chest. She'd never forget the swarm that fought for her, nor the lioness who risked her life. The savannah exhaled, its tension melting into the golden light of dusk. Ellie's small steps grew stronger, her mother's trunk a steady guide. The herd's rumbles were a lullaby, promising safety. The memory of the battle lingered. Claws, stingers, and tusks united against a common foe. It was a lesson carved into Ellie's heart. Nature's fiercest creatures could choose kindness over instinct. The lioness, a solitary hunter, had defied her nature. The bees, tiny but mighty, had answered a silent call. Together, they'd saved a life. As the herd reached the river, Ellie dipped her trunk into the cool water, splashing her bruised skin. Her mother stood watch, her presence a fortress. The other elephants splashed playfully, their joy infectious. Ellie's eyes, once clouded with fear, now sparkled with life. She trumpeted softly, a sound of hope, answered by her mother's deep call. The bees' distant hum seemed to echo it, a reminder of their unlikely alliance. The savannah, alive with whispers of survival and unity, felt different now, less cruel, more connected. The stars began to pierce the twilight sky. Ellie nestled against her mother, her small body warm and safe. The herd's rumbles faded into the night, a promise of new days. The lioness, somewhere in the shadows, carried her own scars, a testament to her choice. The bees, back in their hive, wove their quiet magic. This moment, forged in struggle, sealed in trust, would ripple through the savannah's story. Nature had spoken not in roars or hisses, but in acts of unexpected grace. Nature always surprises with its magic of kindness.